was a quiet September morning in New Mexico, the kind of morning where the sun rises slowly over empty highways, stretching shadows across miles of open desert. A young woman sets out on her usual bike ride, just like she's done countless times before. The road is familiar. The routine is comforting. Nothing feels out of place. But somewhere along that road, something goes terribly wrong. She never comes home. And months later, a single photograph will surface. One so disturbing, so haunting, that even today, decades later, it continues to fuel one of America's most chilling, unsolved mysteries. This is the story of Tara Calico. Tara Lee Calico was 19 years old in 1988. She lived in the small town of Belen, New Mexico, a place where everyone knew everyone, where life moved slower and danger felt distant. Tara was known for her bright personality, her independence, and her love of routine. She was responsible, close with her family, and had a future that seemed wide open. Every morning, Tara would go on a bike ride along Highway 47. It was part of her daily rhythm. She enjoyed the solitude, the fresh air, the sense of freedom that came with riding through long stretches of open land. On September 20th, 1988, Tara left her home around 9:30 a.m. for her usual ride. She never returned. At first, there was no panic. Maybe she stopped to visit someone. Maybe she decided to take a longer route. But as hours passed, that calm turned into concern. By evening, her mother, Patty Calico, knew something was very wrong. A search began almost immediately. Police combed the area along Highway 47. Volunteers joined in. Helicopters scanned the desert. But there were no signs of Tara. No bike. No belongings. Nothing. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. But there was one detail that would later stand out. Witnesses reported seeing a light-colored pickup truck following Tara that morning. Some said it was driving slowly behind her, almost stalking her. Others claimed they saw it multiple times along the route. At the time, it was just a vague lead. No license plate. No clear description of the driver. And then, 9 months later, everything changed. On June 15, 1989, a woman shopping in a parking lot in Port St. Joe, Florida, nearly 1,500 miles away from where Tara disappeared, noticed something lying on the ground. It was a Polaroid photograph. What she saw in that image would shock investigators and the entire country. The photograph showed a young girl and a boy lying on a bed. Their hands were bound behind their backs. Their mouths were covered with duct tape. The girl had dark hair and bore a striking resemblance to Tara Calico. Next to her was a paperback book, My Sweet Audrina by V.C. Andrews, a book that Tara had been known to read. The image was disturbing, but it also carried something else. Hope. Could Tara still be alive? The photograph quickly made national headlines. Tara's mother was convinced it was her daughter. She pointed to specific features, the shape of her face, a scar on her leg, even the way her hair fell. Experts were brought in to analyze the image. Scotland Yard examined it. The FBI looked into it. The results were inconclusive. Some believed it was Tara. Others weren't so sure. But the possibility that she had been abducted and held captive somewhere kept the case alive. And the questions only deepened. Who took the photo? Where was it taken? And most importantly, what happened to the girl in the picture? Investigators began digging into the Florida connection. The woman who found the photo reported that a white van had been parked nearby shortly before she discovered it. The van had tinted windows and no clear identifying marks. But once again, the trail went cold. No fingerprints, no suspects, no answers. As the years passed, more theories began to emerge. One of the most widely discussed theories was that Tara had been abducted by someone she encountered during her bike ride. The pickup truck sightings added weight to this idea. Perhaps someone had been watching her routine, waiting for the right moment. In small towns, routines can be predictable, and predictability can be dangerous. Another theory suggested that Tara may have been hit by a vehicle and that the driver panicked, covering up the accident. But this didn't explain the photograph. It didn't explain the sightings of the truck. And it didn't explain why no physical evidence was ever found. Then there was a darker possibility. Some investigators believe Tara may have been taken by a group of local men, individuals who knew the area well and had the means to make her disappear. Rumors circulated over the years, pointing to specific names, but nothing was ever proven. No arrests were made. No charges filed. Just whispers in a town that never forgot. And then, there's the photograph itself. Some believe it truly shows Tara, bound and terrified, somewhere far from home. Others argue it could be a completely different girl, a coincidence that took on a life of its own. But here's where things get even more unsettling. Another Polaroid surfaced years later. This one showed a young woman, also bound with tape, her face partially obscured. Some again speculated it could be Tara. But just like the first photo, nothing could be confirmed. 2 images, 2 possible victims, no clear answers. Now, here's something to think about. If the photograph really is Tara, that means she survived for months after her disappearance. That means she was somewhere, possibly being held against her will, while her family searched desperately for her. That idea is almost unbearable. And yet, it's one that investigators could never fully dismiss. If you're finding this story as haunting as it sounds, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Shadow Files, and share it with someone who's fascinated by unsolved mysteries. Because cases like this deserve to be remembered. They deserve answers. And Tara deserves justice. As the investigation continued over the decades, law enforcement revisited old leads, re-interviewed witnesses, and explored new forensic techniques. But time is both a friend and an enemy in cold cases. While technology improves, memories fade, evidence disappears, people move on. But Tara's case never truly faded. In 2008, nearly 20 years after her disappearance, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office made a surprising announcement. They stated that they believed they knew what happened to Tara and who was responsible. According to their theory, Tara was accidentally struck by a vehicle driven by a group of local teenagers who knew her. In a panic, they allegedly hid her body and kept the incident secret. It was a shocking claim, but there was a problem. There wasn't enough evidence to prove it. No remains were found. No physical proof linked anyone to the crime. And without that, the case remained officially unsolved. Tara's family had mixed reactions. After decades of uncertainty, any answer might seem like closure. But without solid evidence, doubt lingers. And then there's the photograph again. If Tara died on the day she disappeared, then who is in that picture? Is it a cruel coincidence? Or is it the key to everything? Some theories even take a more unsettling turn. Could the photograph be part of a larger, darker network? A trafficking operation? A hidden world where victims are moved across states, erased from existence, leaving behind only fragments like that single image? There's no proof of this. But the lack of answers leaves space for possibilities that are as terrifying as they are difficult to ignore. And that's what makes this case so haunting. It's not just the disappearance. It's the mystery layered on top of mystery. The questions that refuse to be answered. The feeling that something crucial is just out of reach. Tara Calico was more than a case. She was a daughter, a friend, a young woman with a life ahead of her. And on a quiet morning in New Mexico, that life was taken, or changed forever, in a way no one can fully explain. Even today, her story continues to capture attention. New theories emerge. Old clues are re-examined. And people still ask the same question they did in 1988. What really happened to Tara Calico? Was she the girl in the photograph? Was her disappearance the result of a tragic accident, or something far more sinister? And why, after all these years, does the truth remain hidden? If you've made it this far, you already know. This isn't just a story. It's a puzzle. One that's still waiting to be solved. Make sure to subscribe to Shadow Files for more deep dives into the world's most disturbing unsolved cases. Because sometimes the past isn't as buried as we think, and sometimes the answers are still out there.